Welcome to Better by the Minute. In today's video, we're delving into the art of silence and exploring 7 situations where keeping quiet can be more powerful than words. Silence is often overlooked, yet it holds a profound power that can transform your life in unexpected ways. We're going to traverse a journey of self-discovery, where each step reveals a new situation that can benefit from the strength of silence. We'll explore how silence can be a tool during conflicts, helping to de-escalate and bring clarity. We'll delve into job interviews where sometimes less is more. We'll reflect on the value of silence in personal introspection. Then, we'll uncover how silence can be your shield when handling criticism. We'll also illuminate how silence can be your secret weapon in negotiations. And finally, we'll learn the art of silent listening, an underrated but powerful skill. So, without further ado, let's dive into the first situation where silence is golden. First up, we have conflicts. Yes, it might be tempting to argue back, but sometimes silence is your best weapon. Let's explore this. Picture this scenario. You're in a heated argument, emotions are running high, and it's all too easy to fire back a retort. But what if instead you chose to remain silent? It might seem counterintuitive, but silence in these situations can be incredibly powerful. By deciding not to engage in a verbal battle, you're preventing the conflict from escalating further. You're taking the high road, refusing to fuel the fire with more words. This can often lead to the other party cooling down, allowing for a more rational and productive conversation to take place later. Silence also demonstrates maturity. It shows that you're able to control your emotions, to think before you speak. It's a sign that you're not driven by impulse but by thoughtfulness and consideration. And there's an added bonus. When you're silent, you're more able to listen. You're giving yourself the chance to really hear what the other person is saying, to understand their perspective. This can open up new avenues for resolution that you might not have seen if you were busy formulating your next comeback. So next time you find yourself in a conflict, remember this. Silence isn't about admitting defeat, it's about choosing peace over chaos, understanding over rebuttal. Remember, silence during conflicts can be a sign of strength, not weakness. Moving on, let's talk about job interviews. You might think you need to fill every moment with words, but that's not the case. Picture this. You're sitting across from a potential employer, the air thick with anticipation. It's natural to want to fill the silence with chatter, but sometimes, silence can be golden. Yes, even in job interviews. Why? Well, silence signifies confidence. It tells your interviewer that you're comfortable in your skin, and you're not scrambling to fill every second with words. You're calm, collected, and ready for anything they throw your way. But there's more. Silence also gives your interviewer time to think. It allows them to digest the information you've just given them, to ponder your responses, to form their own thoughts. By rushing to fill the silence, you risk overwhelming them with information. Think of it as a dance. There's a rhythm to conversation, a back and forth that allows for pauses and moments of reflection. By embracing the silence, you allow this dance to unfold naturally. And let's not forget the power of listening. By being silent, you give yourself the chance to truly hear what your interviewer is saying. You can pick up on subtle cues, understand their needs better, and respond more effectively. So, in your next job interview, don't be afraid to embrace the silence. You might just find that it's one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. There you have it, mastering silence. This has been Better by the Minute. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on our content. Next, we have personal reflection. Silence here is not just key, it's essential. In the bustling world we live in, it can be a challenge to find a moment of quiet. Yet, it's within these quiet moments that we can truly reflect on ourselves. It's like stepping back from a painting to see the full picture. Without the noise and distractions of everyday life, we can focus on our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. Silence during personal reflection allows us to dive deep into our own psyche. It gives us the opportunity to question our decisions, evaluate our actions, and contemplate our future steps. It's a time to reassess our goals, realign our values, and reaffirm our commitments. In silence, we can hear the whispers of our heart, the echoes of our dreams, and the call of our destiny. It's a dialogue with oneself, a journey of introspection that leads to self-improvement and personal growth. So, make sure to give yourself some quiet time for personal reflection. Now, let's talk about handling criticism. It's not easy, but silence can make it easier. Imagine being in a situation where you're being critiqued. It might be a performance review at work, a feedback session in a creative endeavor, or even a personal comment from a close friend. It's a natural instinct to defend ourselves, to immediately respond to the criticism, often with excuses or counter-arguments. But let's consider the power of silence in such instances. Silence, in the face of criticism, shows maturity. It sends a message that you're taking the feedback seriously, that you're not dismissing it outright or letting your emotions take the driver's seat. It's about showing respect for the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Moreover, silence gives you time to process the feedback, to dissect it, to understand it. It's not about accepting criticism blindly, but about considering it thoroughly. It's about turning critique into constructive feedback, a means to learn and grow. Silence also prevents the situation from escalating. It stops you from saying something in the heat of the moment that you might later regret, something that could damage relationships or ruin opportunities. So the next time you're faced with criticism, take a moment. Stay silent, listen, reflect, and then respond, if necessary, with thoughtfulness and consideration. Next time you face criticism, remember that silence can be your ally. Moving forward, we have negotiations. Here, silence can be a powerful tool. In this high-stakes arena, where outcomes can pivot on the turn of a phrase, silence is your secret weapon. It's not about being secretive or deceptive, but rather about being strategic. Imagine you're at a negotiating table. The room is filled with tension and everyone is eager to put their cards on the table. It's tempting to join the fray, to add your voice to the cacophony, but here's where the power of silence comes into play. When you remain silent, you create a vacuum. In nature, vacuums abhor emptiness and rush to fill it. The same principle applies to conversations. When you're silent, the other party, uncomfortable with the void, often rushes to fill it, revealing more information than they initially intended. Information that you can use to your advantage. Moreover, silence gives you the time to process the information you've received. It allows you to formulate a thoughtful, measured response, rather than a hasty reaction. It shows that you're not easily swayed or pressured, and that you're willing to take the time to consider all aspects of the offer. In the end, it's not about who speaks the most, but who speaks the wisest. And often wisdom comes from knowing when to hold your tongue. So, the next time you find yourself in a negotiation, remember, silence isn't just golden, it's strategic. In negotiations, remember to use silence as a strategic tool. Finally, we have listening to others. This is where silence truly shines. When we quiet our own voices, we create the space to truly hear what others are saying. It's not merely about biting your tongue, but about opening your mind and heart to someone else's perspective. Silence is a form of respect, a subtle nod that says, I value your thoughts and opinions. It allows us to absorb, to digest, to understand. It's the difference between hearing and truly listening. In a world where everyone seems eager to voice their thoughts, silence stands out. It sends a powerful message, your voice matters to me. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, embrace the silence. Listen more, talk less. Let others fill the silence with their thoughts, their fears, their dreams. So, when listening to others, remember that silence is golden. So, those are the 7 situations where keeping quiet is key. Let's do a quick recap. During conflicts, silence can prevent escalation and promote resolution. In job interviews, it can help you project confidence and thoughtfulness. In moments of personal reflection, silence allows you to connect with your inner self. When handling criticism, staying quiet can be your shield, preventing hasty reactions. In negotiations, silence can be a strategic tool, encouraging the other party to reveal more. And finally, when listening to others, silence is the ultimate sign of respect, showing that you truly value their words. Mastering silence is more than just being quiet. It's a skill, a powerful tool, that when wielded correctly can transform situations and relationships. Embrace the strength of silence and see how it can change your life for the better. There you have it, mastering silence. This has been Better by the Minute. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on our content.